Have you ever woken up in the morning, before eating anything, and your first blood sugar reading is already high? Sometimes it's even the highest number you'll see all day, and you just think, how is this even possible? You didn't eat sugar, you didn't eat carbs, you haven't had breakfast. So why is your blood sugar spiking the moment you wake up? This isn't a rare problem. For many adults over 45, morning blood sugar is often the hardest number to control, even harder than after a meal. And if you also wake up feeling tired, foggy, thirsty, or anxious, needing coffee just to feel human, that's not a coincidence. All of these signals are connected. In this video, you're going to understand why your blood sugar is highest when you wake up, what's really happening inside your body while you sleep, and why so many people chase the wrong solutions for years without ever fixing the real problem. This is important because it connects everything we talk about on this channel: morning fatigue, fasting glucose, nighttime hormones, liver activity, and why these symptoms show up first thing in the morning. Your morning doesn't lie. It shows you exactly what happened overnight. So before we go deeper, if you wake up tired, struggle with fasting glucose, or often see high blood sugar before breakfast, subscribe to the channel. We focus on one thing: helping you understand and fix morning blood sugar, which is where metabolic problems often begin. Now, let's answer the big question. Why does morning blood sugar behave so differently? Most of us are taught to think about blood sugar in terms of food. You eat, your sugar goes up. You don't eat, it should stay low. But that idea completely falls apart in the morning. That's because morning blood sugar isn't driven by what you just ate, it's driven by your biology. While you sleep, your body isn't just resting, it's actively working, regulating, and preparing you to wake up. One of its main jobs overnight is to keep enough glucose in your bloodstream to keep you alive. Your brain, your nervous system, your organs, they all need a steady supply of glucose. So, during the night, your body runs on a carefully controlled glucose supply that comes mostly from your liver. This is where the misunderstanding starts. Your liver is very active while you sleep. It stores glucose as something called glycogen, and while you're asleep, it slowly releases that glucose into your bloodstream to maintain stable levels. This is a normal, healthy process. But here's the issue for many adults over 45. The system that tells glucose where to go becomes less efficient. So, instead of glucose being released and smoothly entering your cells for energy, it starts to build up in the bloodstream. That's when your fasting glucose rises. That's when morning blood sugar becomes the highest number of the day. And this is exactly why so many people wake up tired, thirsty, and foggy, even before they've had a single bite of breakfast. Why is your blood sugar highest right when you wake up? Many people think glucose problems should spike overnight, but for most, the peak happens in the morning. It seems strange, but there's a simple biological reason for it. Hours before you even open your eyes, your body is already getting ready for the day. Around 3 to 7 in the morning, it starts releasing a cocktail of hormones designed to wake you up. These hormones are your body's natural alarm clock. They boost alertness, mobilize energy, and most importantly, they signal your liver to release glucose into your bloodstream. This is the fuel your body needs to get going. We've touched on this before in other videos, talking about the 4 a.m. hormone effect and how your nighttime habits can mess with your morning glucose. It all comes back to this process. The closer you get to your wake-up time, the more glucose your liver pumps out. Now, if your body is sensitive to insulin, this isn't a problem. Insulin helps move that glucose from your blood into your cells for energy. But after age 45, insulin sensitivity often declines. When that happens, the glucose can't get into your cells efficiently. It gets stuck in your bloodstream, and that's why you wake up with high fasting blood sugar. This leads to one of the most confusing symptoms: feeling tired despite having high blood sugar. You might think, shouldn't I feel super energized with all this sugar? But the energy isn't in your blood. It's inside your cells. When glucose can't get in, your muscles feel weak, your brain feels foggy, and you're hit with immediate fatigue. So you start your day feeling exhausted, irritable, and reaching for coffee just to function. This frustrating cycle of waking up tired with high morning glucose is incredibly common. Another big clue is morning thirst. You wake up with a dry mouth, thick saliva, and a powerful urge to drink water. This isn't just simple dehydration. When there's too much glucose in your blood, it acts like a sponge, pulling water out of your cells. That's why just drinking more water doesn't always solve that feeling of deep thirst. It's a sign that your cells are starved for water because of high blood sugar. Now, it's really important to understand that breakfast is not the cause of high morning blood sugar. Breakfast just reveals the problem that was already there, when your glucose is already high upon waking. Any food you eat, even a healthy breakfast, will likely cause a spike because your system is already struggling to cope. People end up blaming the food, but the root cause started hours earlier while you were asleep. The morning just pulls back the curtain. If you've been following this channel, you can see how this video ties everything together. We've discussed why blood sugar rises while you sleep, the 4 a.m. hormone effect, and why you wake up tired or thirsty. They all point to this critical moment, when you wake up. But here's the thing: this problem didn't just appear overnight. It develops slowly, quietly, over many years. By the time you notice your fasting glucose is consistently high in the morning, your body has been compensating for a long time. So, why does this pattern often get worse after age 45? It's because several body systems start to change subtly. Insulin sensitivity gradually declines. Your muscle cells become less responsive to insulin signal. Your liver might get a little too enthusiastic about releasing glucose. Hormonal rhythms can become less stable, and sleep often becomes lighter and more fragmented. Individually, each of these changes might not be a big deal, but when they happen together, they create the perfect storm for high morning blood sugar. This is why so many people tell me, I never had this issue before, or I'm eating the same things I always have. The changes weren't in your diet, they were happening internally, and the morning is the first place they show up. Do you ever wake up and your blood sugar is higher than when you went to bed? It's confusing, right? You haven't eaten anything. Well, the answer lies with your liver. Overnight, your liver's job is to release just enough glucose to keep you stable. But when your body has insulin resistance, the signals telling the liver to slow down are weak. So, instead of a gentle trickle, you get a flood of glucose, especially as morning approaches. This is why your fasting glucose is high right when you wake up, and why your numbers might actually get better later in the day. Your liver isn't your enemy, it's just overcompensating because its communication is impaired. Now, this is where things get dangerous. You might have a normal A1C, your doctor might say your labs look fine. But you still wake up tired, thirsty, and with high fasting numbers. Why? Because A1C is an average. It doesn't show you that specific morning spike. Your symptoms are real, they're early signals that your metabolism is under stress. And that morning fatigue. It's why you feel like you can't function without coffee. When your cells can't get glucose for energy, your body craves stimulation. Caffeine becomes a crutch. It gives you a temporary boost, but it doesn't solve the underlying energy crisis. It's not about willpower, it's pure physiology. Then, what you do in the first 30 minutes of your day can make it even worse. Rushing, stress, looking at your phone immediately, all these things raise stress hormones, which tell your liver to release even more glucose. Most advice focuses on what you eat for breakfast, but the problem wasn't created by breakfast. It was already there when you woke up. The problem started while you were asleep. That's why people get so frustrated. They say, I'm eating perfectly, but my morning number won't budge. They're focusing on the wrong time of day. Your morning reading is the truth teller. It's your body's baseline, untouched by food. It reflects what's happening overnight. Every video on this channel, from waking up tired, to morning thirst, to the 4 a.m. hormone effect, they all connect back to this one central idea. They aren't separate issues. They're all symptoms of the same system under stress. Before you can fix the problem, you have to understand it. Here's one of the biggest mistakes so many of us make. We wait for the numbers to get worse. We wait for a doctor to give us a diagnosis. We wait for permission to finally take our health seriously. But here's the thing. Morning blood sugar problems don't just appear out of nowhere with a diagnosis. They start with signals. It's that feeling of waking up tired even after a full night's sleep. It's that constant thirst first thing in the morning. It's seeing that high fasting glucose reading before you've even had a bite to eat. These aren't failures, they're your body's early warnings. And the sooner you understand what they mean, the easier it is to change course. That's exactly why this channel is here. Not to scare you or sell you a quick fix, but to help you understand what your body is telling you every single morning. Because the morning doesn't lie. Listen to it now and give yourself the advantage most people never get.